Life is full of from going to school, getting a degree, getting a job. So many things occur and happen in life. Season 4, we had a long hiatus. So many things happen in life, but we're just blessed to come back stronger and better, greater guest, greater insight, greater topics. Tonight's guest, he is a family man. He's married to his lovely wife, Jamila Ellis, for 3 years. He's got 2 children, Judah, a 1-year-old, and he just had an infant, had a newborn, Evelyn, who was born. They just brought her home today. So, man, we are really blessed to have this brother on. He's the minister to the Boulder Crest congregation in Atlanta, Georgia. For him to be full-time in ministry, full-time husband, father, and to just bring an infant home and to make time for us, man, we are so blessed to have him a part of the show. So, has his own podcast, so many other responsibilities, but I really wanted to have him on the show tonight to talk about his transition. He has a dynamic and powerful testimony that he's going to share with us. We're not going to waste any more time, y'all. Let's hop into it. What's good, brother? How you doing?
What's going on, man? How you doing?
Man, I'm doing. Let me just put it that way.
Yeah, I feel it. I feel it.
hmm Yeah, it's a blessing to have you on the show, brother.
Man, it's an honor and privilege, bro. I'm grateful to be here, man. I'm looking forward to the conversation tonight.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. We're not gonna waste any more time. As I mentioned, you wear so many hats. You pastor a church. You're a proud husband and a proud father. So I know that having a young family myself, the family needs that. So you ready to hop into this, bro?
Let's do it, Doc.
Very good, very good. So hopping right in, man, talking about your transition. You are now the senior minister to the Boulder Crest Church. But for those
Yeah.
less familiar with you, you also, prior to making that move, you served them as their minister of youth, man. So, man, take some time and tell us about that transition.
Yeah, man. I don't know if you want the long version or the short version,
Hey, this is your
but
episode, man. It's up to you.
yeah, no, man. It was nothing short of God, man. Doing what God does, doing the miraculous, the supernatural, man. Exceedingly and abundantly.
hmm
I came here. I started at Boulder Crest in 2023, November. Started as the youth minister here and not knowing how long that journey would be,
hmm
not knowing what God was doing, never really saw myself as a youth minister,
Sure.
but man, felt compelled by the Spirit to apply for that position. And so I applied for it. The Lord opened the door, and I served in that role for about 7 months.
hmm
And June of 2024, God transitioned me from the youth minister to the senior minister here at Boulder Crest, man. And I didn't fit the qualifications, Ryan. I did not. I didn't have the experience that they were looking for, the
Sure.
tenure they were looking for,
hmm
all the things. It was really. I felt like David. There were so many men who Samuel thought was
hmm
going to be king,
That's
and
good. That's good.
but there was a little shepherd boy out there who wasn't who didn't look the part.
Sure.
But God had called him for ministry, man. And so that's how it happened. No one really knew but God, and man, it's been a blessing ever since.
No, I love to hear that. I can definitely relate to that. I think a lot of times what churches with seasoned saints and seasoned members seem to forget is when we look at churches with the pioneer preachers, the Evans, the Wells, the Ben Fosters, the Maxwells, and so the list goes on of all the pioneers that we know in our brotherhood. But I think the church has a tendency to forget that, hey, at one point, these pioneers, they also were young.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, absolutely. The just a fun fact, Turner Road is 65 years old. Boulder Crest, formerly Turner Road, is 65 years old, and their first minister was about 23 years old.
See?
And God used him and used a couple ministers after that to bring Boulder Crest where it is now. And I happen to be the second youngest preacher in the congregation's history. Started at 25.
That's a blessing, man. Praise God. I was 26 when I started here in Tulsa, and I went through some of the same challenges that you probably went through, and some more, because
going through.
Yeah, exactly, man. So I'll tell you, man, from experience, God positions you right where He needs you. It may not go according to our plan and what we think or what we desire, but man, as they say, in God's timing.
Yeah, definitely. I saw that, man.
Mm-hmm. It's a really good segue. Speaking of churches, we have our plans, we have our thoughts, and sometimes you have ministers. We desire that ready-made church that has the history, it has leadership, it has the bishops, it has the servants, it has the staff and the administration already in place, to where all you have to do is really come in and preach. But as you said, with the situation of David, it's not always like that. Sometimes the flock is injured and it needs some rebuild, or there's some administrative things that need to be adjusted. People really underestimate where Paul told his son of the gospel to set the church in order, the things that are lacking. That's not just eldership. That's not just leadership.
Right.
So for Marricus, what's your response to the ready-made, or designing the ready-made church?
Yeah, no, that's a great question, man. I think, we live in a very consumerist society. And when we talk about church, we almost look at church like a shopping center or mall that we like or want to go to, that has everything that we want, right? That tickles our fancy, that makes us feel good, that has the youth ministry, that has the coffee bar in the foyer, that has all these various ministries, and we want that. And I'm not saying those things are bad in essence. However, I think when we look at church, and when we look at a local congregation, my question would be, why does God have me here? My question would be, how can I grow where I'm planted? So I think we have to take off the consumerist hat with church. And starts asking, what is God doing in this season? What is God doing at this particular work that I'm at? And how is God moving? And how can I participate with God in His mission? And so I think, in this climate where we're looking for a ready-made church, I think we need to, number one, realize that every church is flawed. Every church, as the saying goes, it's a hospital for the sick. And there are sick people in church. We're all among them. And so I think we need to have that perspective when we look at, where are we going to serve? Where is our family going to grow? And to make sure that that's a sound biblical church, of course, things of that nature, and that you can grow and that you can help others grow in the grace and knowledge of Christ.
Okay, now we're back. Okay. My light went off. Anywho, I've been at the church where I'm at for a number of years now, and I was 26 when I started, and man, I think we all kind of go through that. We're like, man, I wish this congregation was further along, but I think there's something to be said about God using us, the partnership between pastor and people, minister and member, to develop these things. It's the same things that we teach and preach. You appreciate things when you have to actually work for them and be instrumental in establishing them. So that's good. That's good. I appreciate that.
Yeah, no, that's absolutely right. I think when we look at, scripture there, whenever a king rose in Israel, it was never ready-made. They were a never ready-made people, but every prophet, every king had work to do. They had ministry to do, and then so I think it still applies to us even today.
For sure. So I got to even talk about just what we're on right now. We're on a podcast, and as you know, and we'll talk about the platforms that you have as well. Anybody can start a podcast. Anybody can create their own platform and just get a microphone and start talking and sharing their opinions. We live in a society now where it's not always facts driven. It's okay if you have a strong opinion and you can plead your case strong enough, people will believe it, even though it may not be factual. So we're in that society where constantly the truth is being diluted, the truth is being diminished for flatteries and good lip service and good alliteration. For us as ministers of the gospel, as proclaimers of the sacred text, how do we stay authentic? The importance of being authentic to the text.
Yeah, no, that's a great question, especially in this season that we're in. I think about, with this question, I think about John, in 1 John 4, when he says to test the spirit. There are many false prophets that have gone out among us. And that's a pivotal text right now. And what we're in now, Ryan, is, this is always, our fight is not against flesh and blood. It's always Satan against God, good against evil, right? And so we have many people out there that are preaching and teaching things that are not congruent with the text. And I think as children, as children of God, number one, but also as proclaimers of the gospel, we have to make sure that we are stand rooted and grounded in God's truth, that we are, as Paul would say, not that we are given the whole counsel of God, that we're not holding anything back. And I would say to members of the church, you have to, as Paul said in 1 Thessalonians, you have to, rejoice evermore, pray without ceasing, all of that. But he also said, don't despise prophecy, but examine all things, right? Be a Berean, I would say, in this day. You have to search and make sure what's being said is true and in line with scripture. I've learned, Ryan, that, man, everything that sounds good ain't sound.
That's good.
It does not make it. It might, the alliteration, the analogies and all the different illustrations, all of that's good. But is it true and authentic to the text?
Sure.
And I think as preachers, as heralds of the gospel, we have to make sure that we are not seeking our own glory. I think that's the root of this generation. It's seeking our own glory.
Sure. Yeah.
We preach things that make people feel good, and we preach a self-centered ministry instead of a Christ-centered ministry, Christ-centered life. So I think we have to protect ourselves from that. By staying rooted in God's word, by staying in steadfast in prayer, because, man, the devil doesn't want God's truth out there.
Sure.
And anyway, anything he can do to dilute it, anything he can do to contaminate it, he's going to do. And I tell our people here at Boulder Crest that we have to make sure that we are being sanctified by God's truth, so that we do not succumb to Satan's lies. And that has really, helped me even in this season as a gospel preacher myself.
Praise God, man. Definitely said a mouthful, and definitely for this current era, this current generation that we're in, and those coming up, where even if you're seeking to get into establish your own platform, make sure the information, whether it's religious information, a practical topic, and make sure whatever you're putting out there, put out some quality sound and most of all, truthful content. I think we live in an era now. I know that we live in an era where there is a populace that is really seeking the truth, and they're searching for it. They're seeking it. Jesus was true. The word is true when Jesus said, "Ask, seek, and knock, and the door will be open. You will find. These things will be given to you." And so we got to be truthful, because number one, for the sake of God, being His witness, but then two, for the people that are really out there looking and seeking out the truth.
Absolutely.
Yes, sir. With the congregation where you're at Boulder Crest, I know you've been there for about a year and change now in this capacity. What's it like now? And I think God really orchestrated this really good for you, because, like I said, you didn't see yourself being a youth minister, but I think it's divine where your first assignment wasn't with the adults, it was with the youth. And now your assignment now is dealing with the older generation. So, you're dealing with a multi-generational congregation, and that's always hard to navigate. And I know you're fresh to it, and I could have had somebody on here that has years, decades of experience, but it's important to have us on here. You know what I mean? And so, even from you getting fresh in the game with full-time ministry, how are you navigating? How are you guys navigating the multi-generational congregation?
Yeah, no, that's good, man. I think you hit on the point about this being a divine, transition, right? And I grew up with my grandmothers, fathers, aunts and uncles, man. I was the little kid that was, at the card games on Friday night, all the way till 2 or 3 o'clock on Saturday morning, right? And I was listening to R&B, old school, all of that. So I grew up with an older generation.
Sure.
So I knew a lot of the slang. I knew a lot of euphemisms and different things, language that that generation uses. So I think it was divine, my upbringing, that even when I was preaching as a 14, 15-year-old boy, my audience was older people.
Sure.
Always. From my started preaching 14, 15 Baptist church, and man, I was preaching to older people, and even to this day. So I think that really helped me, and it's probably, I'll say, Ryan, it's probably not common that I had to work a little more on reaching probably my generation.
Sure. Yeah.
Because of that. So to answer the question, I think right now, a lot of churches are multi-generational, and that simply means there's various generations in your congregation. But I'm really trying to shift the narrative, Ryan. We don't only want to be multi-generational, but we want to be intergenerational.
That's good.
So I'm seeking here at Boulder Crest. Yes, we have various age groups of people, but how are those various age groups coming together to do ministry, to perfect the saints, to equip the body, to do the work of ministry? That's where my head is at right now. And so navigating that, I'm trying to not only preach to a multi-generational audience and making sure that I am touching both head and heart with young people and with the more seasoned people. So I have to I'm using, language that I know my senior saints get. Right. I'm using cliches and different things, cliches that are true. We come this far by faith.
Yes,
right.
Sir. Yes, sir.
Leaning
yes,
on the Lord.
Yes, sir.
Things like that that connect with my with my seasoned saints. But then I have my younger generation where I'm using music and different genre and different things to connect with the younger people. And so that can be a difficult space.
Sure.
If you're watching this and you've never preached to a multi-generational congregation, man, that's
it's a tightrope that you're walking.
And in the sermon preparation, man, there is because I am have a pastoral heart, and I want to be able to serve the entire body, the entire flock, man. I'm very intentional about that.
Hmm.
And so not only so that's in preaching, that's in the Sunday morning thing, but then in the programs and the events. One of the ministries here, we have the Bridge Gappers, and that that kind of that's helping those who are crossing over from the millennial kind of to the baby
Yep.
boomers. So that helps that generation. But then we also have what our young adults, they work alongside the senior ministry. They work
Hmm.
with the youth ministry, and so we're trying to be intentional about the programs and events that we have. How are we being intergenerational? How are we living out Titus 2?
Yeah.
Right. That's really what it is. How are we living out Titus 2? Where the older men are teaching the younger, the older women are teaching the young women, things of that nature. And so it takes intentionality, it takes strategy, it takes
Yep.
prayer. It takes commitment, discipline, all of those things to make sure to make that shift from not only being multi-generational but to being intergenerational.
That's good. Man, I'm listening to you. A couple things. One, I wanted to have you on the show because one, there is a negative stigma and man assumption that younger ministers, younger pastors, younger Christians in general don't care about God, and
Yeah.
very much like that was said about me and other ministers in my age group. You're wise beyond your years, and so I would say the same to you.
Yeah.
I ain't gonna lie, man. Hearing you say I'm 25, I'm 37, so it's like, man, you make me feel real old, brother.
Well, I'm 27 now. 27
Yeah,
now,
yeah,
but
yeah, 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 yeah.
still,
Yeah,
yeah,
so,
still,
yeah, it's
I got
about 10 years, man. So,
you. Yeah.
man, but now you're definitely wise beyond your years. And I check out the stream, I check out everything and the ministry and what you guys are doing. Man, I love the work that you are doing there in Atlanta. You're there. It's not an accident, but you're there on divine purpose and divine assignment. So, man, bless you for what you're doing. With that being said, those who may not be familiar, we have a fellow podcaster that is our guest, and so you co-host the Behind the Pulpit podcast and the Lamp and Light podcast, man. So, talk to us about those platforms, man, and what those are all about for those who may not be familiar.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Man, Behind the Pulpit is similar to the Man Behind the Ministry. Man, just a side note, we always envied your intro, man. Your we still envy it, Doc. But
We can change that,
behind
brother.
behind the pulpit, man, BTP started man, it's been I'll say I think 2021.
Mm-hmm.
2021, this we just kind of similar as on a hiatus now. We stopped at season 4, I believe.
Mm-hmm.
And man, that ministry really started by my brother, covenant brother and best friend, Corey Spivey, there in Nashville, Tennessee.
Mm-hmm.
He actually pulled me aside. This was his brainchild and his vision. Pulled me aside and wanted me to co-host with that, man. And it was one of the greatest works, man. Still one of the greatest works of my life, and greatest friendship. And it was all birthed because we wanted members to see, we wanted people to see
Mm-hmm.
the man behind the ministry,
Sure.
really. We wanted to see, what happens behind the pulpit. We deal with sermon preparation. We deal with what
Mm-hmm.
all the Monday through Friday, or Monday through
I
Saturday,
love
the
it.
rigor
I love it.
preparation. You all see 30 to 40 minutes. You see the tip of the iceberg, but
Mm-hmm.
you don't see, what happened all week long. So we dealt with sermon preparation. We dealt with the call into ministry. We interviewed many guests week to week, and just discussing ministry, man, just the man behind the pulpit, really, and life behind the pulpit. And so Man, really been a blessing for many people. A lot of encouragement. We're excited, Lord willing, to come back soon. We're working on it, trying to get it together. We're been very busy and just in different spaces, but
Sure.
we're preparing, man. And so that's Beyond the Pulpit has been a blessing. Tune in, check us out. If you haven't heard about us, you can go on our YouTube and you can watch the previous seasons, man. Some good content, some good info was released in those seasons, man.
Yeah.
So
And
that's Beyond the Pulpit.
nice. And I'm all about man, just getting, as they say, exclusive. Do we have a date in mind for the next season? Anything we can push out? You know, I know I'm putting you on the spot.
Listen, if I had it done, I would give it to you.
Yes,
I
sir.
would have made it exclusive right here
Yes,
on
sir.
the Man Behind the Ministry podcast with my boy Ryan Smith. But I ain't got it done. I ain't got it.
Trust me. No, I totally
Yeah.
understand. Totally understand.
Yeah.
Make sure that
There you go.
I push that, man. There we go. Okay.
Yeah.
Your other
I got lost you.
Can you hear me now?
Yep, I got you.
This is the challenge of doing live streaming.
I feel it. It's all good on my end. Yeah.
The challenge of doing a live stream. So you saying it in real time. Anywho, no, I wanted to make sure that I pushed your podcast. One minister told me, in respect to fellow ministers of the gospel in this great fraternity, lighthouses don't compete, man. They just shine.
Yes, sir.
So it was really important to me to talk about the ministry, but also talk about the work that you and Corey are doing. Because when I have time, I'm able to kind of tune in and check you guys out, man, and just support each other, man. We're not in this thing to compete, but we're just trying to create platforms where, man, the truth is getting put out. So whether it comes from your voice or mine or Corey's or whoever's, it doesn't matter as long as the truth of God is being put out in a very genuine, authentic, and unique way. Because my voice is mine, your voice is yours. Same with Corey, man. So blessings to you. Those who may not be familiar, there is another podcast out there. I think it's the O'Neill family. They have a podcast out as well, and so definitely check them out. So very very good friend of mine, Kelly O'Neill, and her husband.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. I'm familiar now. Yeah. Absolutely.
Yep. So so definitely check them out. Lastly, man, before we get off, you very much like myself are a family man, and I know from experience you wouldn't be who and where you are, not only without God, but without the and your two children, man.
Yeah. And that has been the catalyst beyond God, outside of God, that they have been the catalyst that has fueled this ministry, man. I wouldn't be here now on this podcast if it wasn't for my family support.
Yeah.
And so, man, they have been pivotal. My wife has been a great support. When we came into to ministry, or I was already in ministry before we got married. But marriage and ministry is two different things. It's a whole nother level when you the two become one and you go with ministry. And so even with its challenges at times, it is still the greatest joy. My wife is a big supporter of this ministry and what God is doing in and through our lives together, and apart. She is her own woman as well, and God is using her. She is an amazing mother to our two beautiful children now, and I'm able to do so much because she is willing to hold down the fort at home, and I thank God for her. So shout out to my wife, Jamila Ellis. I'm thankful for her. And our children, they are young right now. So they are 1 years old, and then we have a 1 month old daughter. So they don't, obviously, they don't really see it, but they are impacting my ministry already. Being a father gives me a whole new perspective. I'm able to be a more effective minister, an effective preacher, when because I have children now, and I understand that what comes with that. I understand the love comes with that, the patience, the care, all
Yeah.
of that. So it really helps me as a preacher. It helps me pastorally, all those things. So they don't even know it yet, but they are changing, impacting, and shaping this ministry. So to God be the glory.
Praise is when you try new technology and you don't test it.
Yeah, it's all good, bro.
We definitely appreciate you hopping on with us, man. It's definitely been a blessing to me. It's been a blessing to, I know, all those who have been tuning in with this, man. Lastly, any final words you want to share with this audience before we get off, brother?
Man, no, just thank you, brother, for this opportunity, man. Thank God for what you're doing. Thank God for your ministry, your family, man, and what you're doing there in Oklahoma, right? Yes, what you're doing there, man. Seeing your work is an encouragement to me and my generation, those coming behind. Man, it's just a blessing. So, man, keep up the good work, and thank you again for the opportunity, my brother.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Most definitely. Appreciate you again. Again, for those who are less familiar, Marricus D. Ellis. What's your middle name, brother? I'm big on middle names. What's your middle name,
You
brother?
big on that?
Yeah, man.
Demontez.
Demontez, I like it. I like it. I
Yeah.
like it, man. Again, blessings having you on the show. We'll make sure we put all of his links in the description. Young and the ministry. But that's our premiere. We're changing our format this year. I've learned to be able to adapt and adjust instead of going every week, having a young family. That's not sustainable.
No doubt.
So we'll be going every other week. So our
Yes.
next episode will be Thursday, November the 6th at 7 p.m. So we appreciate y'all tuning in and hopping on this gravy train with us, man. God bless you guys. God keep you. We'll see
God
you in the
bless.
next episode. Peace.